Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. This is technically for August 1st, 2024, episode 246? Oh dear. It's a new month. I kind of lose track of the episode counts from day to day, and I have gotten way behind on posting. Partly just because I made a technical error. So when I posted the last podcast on YouTube, I accidentally posted it as an unlisted video. So it had been uploaded to the internets, but it was not visible to the internets until I was looking at my videos, and I saw it had 0 views, and I'm going, all right, I know I don't have the most popular podcast, but I usually get more than 0. So that's when I realized I had published it as an unlisted video. So I'm kind of behind here. So, I'm going to go ahead and catch up for August 1st. And even though it's already almost August 3rd, and then I'll just have to post again. So if this is your first time joining me, I am a stand-up comedian and an actor and an improviser, Paul Green here, and just documenting my journey and sharing what I'm learning and experiencing as I pursue my dreams as a performer, because it has been quite the journey. So, if you follow the podcast, you know that I do spend the majority of my time really focusing on stand-up comedy. However, I am also a professional actor, and I do get auditions from time to time. And it just so happened that I had 2 auditions come through yesterday. They were self-tapes, and one of them was for a commercial that my agent in Los Angeles got me, and the other one was for a local sketch comedy project locally here in Phoenix. And both of the auditions were actually a ton of fun. I probably have to be a little careful on how much I share. You always want to be a little discreet when you are talking about projects you auditioned for, because they're usually all in a different state of production, and sometimes the production does not want anything regarding their products or projects being leaked. So I will keep it somewhat vague, but one of the auditions for the local sketch show, well, it was just that, and the script they had me read was just a really fun script. It was a monologue, and I don't know. It was just funny, and I just had a good time doing this script. And what I liked about it is it was very wordy, and I love it when I have an opportunity to be very rambly because I can talk kind of fast, and I just have a really good time anytime I have any script or opportunity to just start rambling off words at a really fast pace, but in a context where it is called for and expected, because sometimes that can be really annoying if, an actor is just rambling off words really fast. But you remember that scene in Forrest Gump where Bubba starts rambling off all the types of shrimp? There was a kind of a similar concept in this sketch. I mean, not nearly as long, but within the context of the sketch, there was this part where there was just sort of a rambling of a list of stuff. And the dynamic of the sketch piece, at least as far as I could tell, called for it to be sort of a fast rambling, or at least how I chose to interpret was fast. And I don't know, it was just fun for me. It's just fun for me when I get to, talk a lot, obviously. So that was fun, submitting that. And then the second audition was for a commercial. I probably won't discuss the product. However, the character I was playing was sort of a British butler character. And I just love doing characters. I love doing accents. And so I had so much fun submitting those acting self-tapes. And, you just never know what once you've submitted your tape, it's just a long game of hurry up and wait. Once you submit the tape, you gotta hurry up and wait. So we'll see. We'll see if I, get a call back or get any response from what I did. I have gotten to a point, though, to where once I submit my audition tape, I just forget about it, because whether or not they choose you just comes down to so many other variables and factors that are just completely out of my control. Ain't nothing I can do about it other than just say, all right, I put my best foot forward. I put the best tape on tape that I can think of, and or that I not that I could think of, I put the best performance on tape that I felt I could, and from there you leave it to a whole room of decision makers who now are going to pour over who knows how many self-tapes, probably in the hundreds of self-tapes, and if they like what I did, then they will reach out for a callback. So anyway, it is and was fun to be able to throw a little bit of acting into the mix this week, because that doesn't happen too often. I don't get a ton of acting auditions these days, which is fine. My primary focus is stand-up comedy anyway. So, speaking of stand-up comedy, I'll tell you what, I have been dealing with some fun rejections of late. So last year, I put a lot of work into producing a comedy special of myself, and I thought the footage turned out great. I thought the video turned out great. And I took that video and I submitted it to a handful of comedy festivals. And so far, I have heard back from 2 of them who determined to not invite me out to their comedy festival, which, it doesn't feel great. Especially one of them, I was in their festival last year, and I thought I had a good festival. I was in one of their comedy shows. I thought I had a good set. So I was a little surprised that even they decided not to have me back. And I don't know. It's it can be really easy to let that go to one's head. Start overthinking it. Oh, well, why didn't they pick me? And was it, am I not as funny as I thought I was? Am I not attractive? Am I too old? Do they only want younger, up-and-coming like all of that head trash? It's in there. I'm not going to pretend I am so mature that I am immune to feeling discouraged and disappointed that I wasn't accepted into these comedy festivals, especially the one that I did last year, where I was very involved. And involved meaning, I went to the networking meetings, and I attended a handful of the shows, and obviously I performed myself, and I thought I did well. And I went to the movie premiere of one of the stand-up comedians produced a comedy special, and I went to that and went to the meet and greet and met the owners who run it. And so I don't know, it was a little, I don't know, it didn't feel great. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm just being honest. I'm not again quite at that point to where I can be like, oh well, F those guys. So anyway, but yeah, there's 2 festivals that have gotten back to me, and the answer is no. I've submitted to a few more that I'm still waiting to hear back from. I know one of them is going to get back to me, or they're going to post the comments they accept on August 20th, so I will be waiting on that. So, aside from having a couple comedy festivals, deciding that I am not worth their time, the other side is I am still in this, a little bit of a writing slump, and I'll tell you, my concentration for writing is really low, and those of you who follow the podcast know that a couple of days ago, I made a commitment to stop playing this certain video game, which I had been playing way too much, and I have been shifting my focus back to writing and trying to write every day. I have written every day. I haven't written a ton every day, and I really think that video game just turned my brain to mush. I just think my reward dopamine centers and all of that stuff have just been so desensitized that they are just so craving for any stimulus that my concentration, my capacity just to sit there and open the notebook and just write is pretty low right now. So, but I'm still working on it and working on, again, just getting back to writing every day, getting to that habit. But it's clear to me that whatever is on the other side of this little slump is really going to take maybe some more effort than the first 20 minutes that I've come up with over the last couple of months. So, it's just a unique challenge to go, I've got to be putting so many more words on paper and really start draining the well of thoughts and opinions and experiences that are floating around in my brain, just to see if I can put together this next set. So, with all of that, I am overall doing well. I'm very excited for what's going to be coming down the pike here. The 2-person comedy show that I do with my good buddy Josh Novi, the Midlife Crisis Comedy Podcast. We have 3 really big shows next week. Ticket sales have been really good at one of the venues. They've been a little slow at a couple of the 2 of the other venues. So we're really hoping that this last week before the show will prove to be a windfall of, people going, okay, I have decided that I am free this weekend and I want to go hear some comedy, and these Facebook ads have been relentless in my feed, and hopefully we'll have good turnouts at those other venues. I know the venue in Gilbert is going to be a great turnout. We've already sold a good number of tickets. A number have already been comped, so we're all good there. So with that, I will now shift gears to the second part of the Paul Comedy Podcast, where I have been dissecting the book, The 48 Laws of Power. And my overall opinion is, although those may be laws of power, I'm not actually sure that they are laws that will lead to any degree of fulfilling, meaningful life experiences. So today's law of power, though, is a bit of an exception. And the law, again, I'm going to paraphrase, is something along the lines of whenever you take action with boldness, or be bold in taking action. Something along those lines. The sentiment of the book is that taking action, even if it's the wrong action, even if you don't really know what you're doing, just being bold and taking those actions will yield far greater positive results than not making a decision out of fear of error or out of fear of doing it wrong. And I got to tell you, this is a law I can get behind. This is definitely a law I can get behind. Because I do feel that the paralysis by analysis issue is very real, and it can be so challenging to set out and have a dream and make things happen if at the same time you're constantly grappling with insecurities and with weakness or frailty or fear and all of that stuff. And I totally get why we feel those feelings. I feel them all the time. I have felt them. Fear and the doubt and the discouragement and I don't want to put myself out there yet because I want to be better prepared or I don't want to make mistakes. And this is a bit of a weird contradiction here. So I am going to contradict myself, because there is also times when honing or honing a craft or investigating further or whatever it is, that there is some value to delaying, presenting something or just going for something, But I really think what the book is trying to say is that if you have a choice between being timid or scared or unwilling to take action, then you will probably be better served by taking any action at all and then just letting the cards fall where they fall and then readjusting and then taking the next action. So definitely a law that I don't have any major objections to. I know I've objected to a lot of the laws of power, but this one, I do think that boldness is going to yield greater results than any amount of timidity. Is that a word? Timidity? Being timid. So stand up for yourself. Go take action. Stand up. Say what you have to say. Call who you need to call. Go get a sale. Whatever it is. Go talk to that person you find attractive. And by the way, this is totally a do as I say, not as I do. I have exercised so much timid and holding back and not taking the action that may have been optimal at the time out of fear or out of fear of it not going well or fear of failure. So it is definitely a do as I say, not as I do approach, although I'm always trying to get more bold and more assertive with just speaking what I think and speaking what I feel and going for what it is that I want to go for, and just letting everything else work itself out, I hope. All right, everybody. So that is the update for today. This is the Paul Green Comedy Podcast for August 1st, 2024, episode 246. I hope your dreams are going well. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you tomorrow.